What's up, everybody? John Arapoli here with My MMA News, and today's guest will be fighting Vince Morales at UFC Vegas 65 on November 19th. Pleased today to be joined by Miles John. Miles, thanks for being here, man. Appreciate the time.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me on.
So this is a short notice fight for you. Just talk about that a little bit and why you would accept a short notice fight.
I've been wanting to fight in November, December at the latest anyway. And Coach Krause asked me not too long ago if I'd be willing to take a short notice fight if something came up, because he saw that I was training really hard. He said that I was proven, just looking ready to go. And I was like, yeah, man, absolutely. So he said that he'd throw my name in the hat for Jason House just in case anything happened to come up. And before too long, of course, an opportunity arose. He gave me a call and said, ask and you shall receive, and let me know that there was a fight in 2 weeks. We thought it was a good matchup, so there was no hesitation. I was like, yeah, throw me in there. So I've just been staying ready, just praying and visualizing an opportunity like this to come. So, yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, and I know you had mentioned a little bit in that answer there, and it was actually something similar to a post you had on social media that I wanted to ask you about. You said you didn't know when the next opportunity was going to come. Just talk about that a little bit and why you were so uncertainty as to when indeed the next time you'd get to fight in the octagon would be.
Yeah, so it's been a lot going on in my life as of late. I made the transition from Dallas, training at Fortis, over to Kansas City. Packed up the family and moved them over here. So training at Glory MMA now under Coach Krause, and then also the suspension that had me out for 6 months. It's just been it just felt like a lot, and then once I was released from that, then not like just kind of being in that waiting period and not really knowing them with new management under a new coach. I just had to pray on it, and just stay positive that it was going to come. I was telling like people that are close to me that, yeah, I'm sure I'll fight this year. I'm sure I'll get one in this year. And, time's ticking. I see that they're already lining up fights for January and February. And, people are asking me, oh, they're already making fights for February. I thought you were going to get one in this year. And I'm like, well, I know I want to, but we just got to wait and see. So yeah, that's a little bit challenging mentally, but that's why I was just staying ready for an opportunity like this to come, and sure enough, it did.
So now with all of that being said, I know there's been a lot of different moving pieces there. Given everything, just how excited are you to get to compete inside of the octagon again?
I'm super excited, just super grateful, man, for the opportunity. And yeah, like you said, to get to compete again. Nothing is, you can be excited for the fight, but then you better be excited in the fight, and take care of business. So I'm ready to do what I do. I'm ready for whatever. I'm ready for an easy fight. I'm ready for a tough fight. I'm ready for whatever. But just to have the opportunity, yeah, it's great. I miss that. I miss that fight camp feeling. That I got something on the books feeling. So I'm happy to have it back.
All right, so now we know this is a short notice opportunity for you. Just talk about training camp a little bit, and how difficult it is to have a short training camp when you only have like 2 weeks to prepare for an opponent. I'm sure probably a lot of it just has to deal with the great work that you guys do down at Glory. I know you guys are grinding every day. You guys are always in the gym, working, getting better, improving each and every single day. So I'm sure a lot of it you guys are ready to go all year round there at Glory MMA.
Yeah, yeah, I wouldn't really. I try to avoid like a training camp mindset. You know what I mean? Like I'm always training hard, and for me, a training camp is just an opportunity for you to reach like your peak performance. Of course, you can watch your opponent, and there's going to be different things that you do for different opponents. But really, I feel like if I do what I do at my best level, that I'll be ready for anybody. You know what I mean? So, I did watch like film on him. We did like a quick film study, even though I've already seen like pretty much all of his fights before that are in the UFC, and we just kind of sharpen up the cardio and just kind of dial it in a little bit. But really, I'm just preparing to peak in 2 weeks, or a week from now, like that. That's what the training camp is involved. Like we work a couple tactical things, we talk about a couple things, and then we just sharpen up the cardio and we just get ready to peak, ready to go. So hasn't been much of a training camp, but I like that. I think my wife likes that too, because she doesn't have to deal with angry, ready to fight Miles for 8 weeks.
All right, so now I wanted to ask you a little bit about the different moving pieces that we have here. So you said before you used to train down at Fortis in Dallas, Texas, made the move to Glory MMA. Now with all of that, right? I'm sure even though there's different gyms and different moving parts, in the long run, it really has to be probably a good thing that you were able to train at these different high level gyms because it's funny, like when I was coaching track, for example, after I got done competing in college, I would love to send videos out of the athletes I was coaching to other coaches to see maybe like, am I missing something here? Maybe the way I'm explaining something is different than the way somebody else is explaining. Maybe the things I'm looking for is different than, what a different coach is looking for. And sometimes having multiple eyes on something could be a good thing. Do you feel the same way here that given your training at Fortis now at Glory that it's all going to kind of come together and everything's going to really come like full circle for you here?
Yeah, 100%. I think that was kind of the root of this. I've been at Fortis for 10 years, and I love what they're doing there. Like, my teammates from there will be my family forever. I have a ton of respect for Coach Safe, and I've learned so much from him, and I still take that with me today. I still hear his voice and in my ear with different things and positions. I'm not losing anything that I've learned in the past 10 years there. But it is, I felt like it was just something that I needed to do for myself. And it was a really hard decision. It's really hard, cutting ties with people in a network that you've been building for the past 10 years. I've been like building that, and I really had it made there. I had a great physical therapist, a great strength and conditioning coach, like my team and family and everything. So that is difficult, but I just had to be honest with myself and what I was looking for at the time, and I wanted to get back close to family, and I just needed, I think, a change of scene completely. And so yeah, and it's great to have all these different looks and a different I guess, ideology of the fight game, from Coach Krause and all the coaches there. It's all generally the same, it's very similar, but there's just little things that are different that I think can make a big impact, and I've never been like a gym hopper type of guy. Like, I'm very loyal to wherever I'm training at, but I am grateful for the opportunity to have trained at such an excellent gym like Fortis and now training at another excellent gym like Glory, and mix those two and combine those two experiences into one fighter, so yeah, it was extremely difficult. Even just moving from state to state is difficult in itself, but with this situation, it was very hard, but I'm happy that I made it through all that, and I'm here now, and we're about ready to rock.
And now, after all these different training questions here, I have to just ask you a fight specific here. I just wanted to get your thoughts on your opponent. I know you mentioned you kind of had a brief little film session there, but just what have you seen out of him, as an opponent, and how you kind of seen this fight playing out on fight night?
He's a gamer. He's real comfortable in there. He's been in there with a ton of high level guys, and yeah, he has some experience under his belt. I think our styles are very similar. I think he is a wrestler, kind of turned boxer, like he's real boxing heavy in his fights. Throws some kicks, but mostly it seems like hands. I just think the styles match up well. I think it's going to be a fun fight, and I see a lot of areas that I think that I'm better at that I'll be able to expose. So I like to bring people in, and he, sometimes I have to kind of pull people in or guide them in, but I don't think I'll have to do that with him. I think that he'll invite himself in willingly. So that'll be awesome. That'll be fun, and yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think the styles match up well.
All right, so you are a family man, so I want to shift gears now and go outside the cage, talk a little family stuff here. I can tell on all the photos that you post, you're a really loving and caring father. Just how do you balance everything? That's a very difficult thing, being a full-time professional fighter in the UFC and, at the end of the day, still coming home and being a father. It's, I'm sure, a lot to balance out there.
Yeah, it's just... it's all love. They know who I am. Like, my wife knows I'm a fighter. My kids know I'm a fighter. I got 3 boys, so it makes it a little bit easier. I can be a little harder on them, and bring the fighter out of them. Not to say that I want them to fight or anything, but I just try to. We just live the lifestyle that is ideal for being a professional athlete. Like right before this, we just got home. We were on a nature walk, like a little hike, and I got them in the wagon. I'm pushing them up these hills with the leaves, the slippery, and all this stuff, and it's a great way to have like active recovery, So everything we do, thankful for my wife being here to support me, is kind of based around like of fighting. I really feel like I'm both feet in, and I just live this life, and they love it too. It's a fun journey, but yeah, prioritizing time with them and just making them be a huge part of my life is important to me. I love them all, and yeah, they're my biggest supporters and biggest critics, and exactly what I want them to be for me. So I think they enjoy this journey as well. And we're homeschooling, so that way, if we ever need to bring the kids fight weeks and stuff like that, they'll be ready if we can pack up and roll. So.
And then just one last thing that I wanted to ask you about, because I find this very compelling, and I think you could offer maybe some great advice here. You had mentioned at one point in your life, I saw this on a post on social media, where you were promising your wife, like, hey, I'm going to make it, and you were sacrificing. You were working full time. You were still in the gym every day. You had this dream of making it to the UFC, and you promised your wife it was all going to work and pay off, and indeed it did. So just talk about that, what that whole entire grind was like. And then if you have any advice out there for anybody, because there's a lot of people in a lot of different fields where they might be maybe working a full-time job or working a job that they're making money at to just pay the bills, but it's not what they necessarily want to do, and they have these dreams and their vision. They're putting a lot of passion into things, and they're just trying to get that break that they need and kind of get through that grind, because the grind could wear people down. There's people that might just at some point break down and say, I can't do this anymore, and they end up giving up on their dreams at an early age. So just maybe any advice that you have for those types of people as well, that you were willing to bet on yourself and it all paid out.
Yeah, it just takes patience, patience and persistence. And I wasn't actually to the point of working. I went through nursing school, and actually when I fought for the LFA belt against Adrian Yanez, a 5-rounder, I was in nursing school and we were at finals. So the day of weigh-in, I went to school and took my final, like the final of the entire semester. And then I went to the gym, I cut 5 pounds, and then I went straight to weigh-in. And then obviously we fought the next day. So I was fully invested in that. And I was doing that. I do love nursing, and my mom's a nurse. My wife was a nurse. She's not anymore, but I love the field. I thought that I could have been great at it and been happy doing it. But I was kind of doing it, maybe looking back, is a way to to support what I was doing in fighting, you know what I mean? And then the Contender Series comes, and I had full plans on being a full-time nurse and also training, because you could work night shift, I had it all planned out. But then when I was fighting for the Contender Series the day of weigh-in, the job that I interviewed for called me back. It was like, hey, we loved you, we'll have a second interview for you, let us know whenever you want to come in. And then I got the contract the next day, so I had to call them and tell them that I didn't think I was going to be able to make it. And at that point is when I decided that I was going to just be a full-time fighter. Like, I'm really going all the way in on this. And that was hard, because I did have kids. I had a third one on the way too at the time. But my wife trusted me, and she supported that decision. And here we are now. I've been able to make a living on it and support them. So, yeah, it's just a series of hard decisions, sitting back and thinking, what the hell do I really want? And if I really want that, what am I going to sacrifice for it, and what hard decision am I going to make to get it? So, yeah.
All right, Miles, a lot of great stuff today, and that was such great advice that you gave there in that answer. Last thing before you roll out, social media, management, sponsors, anything like that you have to plug, floor is yours, take it away.
You can find me at Miles Chapo Johns on Instagram, and other than that, I just appreciate all the love and support from everybody, and yeah, that's all I got.
All right, Miles, thanks so much for all the time, man. Really appreciate it. Again, Miles will be fighting at UFC Vegas 65 on November 19th. Last thing before I roll out today, just want to remind everybody, if they like today's interview, please do me a favor, go to the bottom, give it a thumbs up, make sure that you subscribe to this YouTube channel, and make sure you guys are going to MyMMANews.com, checking out all of our great work. Go to our social media pages, give us a like and a follow on there as well. We'll see you later, everybody.